Hello, episode 4 of More Than Design podcast. You fashionable bastards. Welcome, man. I got my brother here, Chris, special guest, gonna give us some good insights on the fashion industry. We're just gonna be sitting back talking fashion. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was like pulling teeth out to get you here, man.
Nah, man. I'm just a little busy, man, with work, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here to support you, you know what I'm saying? Here to talk fashion.
Yeah. We do this on the regular anyway. Chris has, when I had my brand, Thoughtful Minds, Chris was helping me model and always been a part of fashion just in general. I mean, if you're a New Yorker, pretty much is, a part of fashion. But
yeah.
you and your boy had a clothing brand, right?
Yeah. It's Descendant NYC. We started it probably 3 years ago. We started in high school. We always wanted to start a brand. Didn't have the money then, didn't have the vision. Got a little bit older. We both got jobs, both a little bit more mature. So we decided, to jump into it. Came up with the name and everything, the concept, what we wanted to make. And yeah.
Yeah, so like I know you guys was I remember when we was up in the crib one day and you guys brought like tell me about your boy. Your boy's interesting, man. He's a cool guy, man. He pulled up in some shit, man, looking like Prince one day with
some high heels.
He had the high heels on. Very fashionable guy, man. I guess that's the way. But tell me a little bit more about your bro. What's his name again?
His name is Jourdain.
Jourdain. Shout out to Jourdain, man. Really good guy. Good soul, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys pulled up. He pulled up with the sample, from that you guys were doing. Tell me about that, because I know that was like something that was like a pain point for you guys, like the manufacturing, right?
Yeah. So, I met Jourdain in high school. Went to an all-boys Catholic school. Walked into, I think, science class.
Mount St. Michael's, right?
Mount St. Michael, yeah.
Shout out Bronx. Yeah.
I was in biology class, and he knew a boy of mine. And so we're sitting there, and he has Ugg boots. I got Ugg boots, so we start talking about Ugg boots.
It's a fucking connection.
We clicked on fashion immediately. So that's how I met him. And then the samples, we decided to go with a manufacturer downtown in the fashion district.
Yeah.
We wanted to go for more cut and sew pieces, high quality pieces that we both wanted to make. And I think the sample we bought you was like an oversized box fit tee.
Yeah.
So we were making like essentials to start, but we wanted to do graphics afterwards. But like, man, those samples were like super expensive. Especially
because y'all got them made in New York.
Yeah, in New York. Sourced the fabric in New York. Yeah. Everything. That was one of the selling points that we wanted to go for, was the made in New York, made in America.
Yeah.
More like using organic fabrics. That was one of the selling points, just because we wanted to differentiate ourselves from like other brands and stand out a little bit.
Do you think people give a fuck about that anymore? That's the hard part, like the craftsmanship of just like pieces now. Yeah. I'm sure that there's a group of folks, especially with fast fashion, that appreciate that, but then when it's time to look at like or time to purchase, and you kind of factor in like made in America, sourced in America, and that's the reason why the manufacturing cost so much. Like, you think people care about that?
Yeah, I think that there's a demographic that definitely cares about that stuff for sure. I just think it's difficult to start it without a lot of capital or connection.
Yeah.
So when you look at like a brand like Everlane, for example, they make essentials. But one of their selling points is, organic clothing, organic fabric.
Yeah.
Putting an emphasis on quality materials and things of that nature. They make essentials, but that's one of their selling points. And I think they generated 250 million revenue last year.
Fucking investors from Everlane, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Investors from Everlane. I do like their basic essentials.
And
man.
Actually, like a few years ago, they used to have like set up a shop downtown, and they used to deliver straight to the consumer.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of the main selling points before. I think They even had like
they're right across the street from Prince Street.
Yeah.
They're right across the street from Prince Street and Little Cupcake Shop. My two favorite places in New York.
Yeah, so I was like, it's like a unique selling point.
Yeah.
So we I think it was a good selling point to have. It's just you don't have the starting capital.
That capital's
it's gonna kill you. Like it's gonna kill the bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing now?
We're still working on putting new material out. We're still brainstorming about how to move forward. Obviously, the selling point of being made in New York is it's difficult. It's difficult for it to be feasible now.
Yeah.
Just because we both have regular jobs, we both have bills to pay. So we do want to outsource some of the manufacturing.
Yeah.
But I think the vision of the brand will remain the same.
Yeah.
And just the aesthetic of the brand.
Yeah. I think that's the challenging part. Like, no one should think like you need thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars to really get started. But, if you have a really good design, probably. But yeah, when it comes to just samples itself, that can just run your bank, your pockets clean.
Yeah. It's what's funny? Like these days, like you can have like 500 and you can start a brand.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just depends on what you want to do. You can go to Alibaba or whatever and you can find a manufacturer.
Alibaba?
To make your pieces for you, you know what I'm saying? You might get the pieces and they might be fucked up, but like, you can definitely start. I think a large portion of like creating a brand is the marketing of it.
Yeah.
I think that's really the selling point, especially these days with social media, with the influence you can have over people. I think it's really just marketing. Marketing
is definitely super important. I think this is a good transition to like what makes a brand desirable and or what really makes a brand. Is it the marketing? Is it who's wearing it? Is it even the quality now? Just like how you said, like people don't really care where it comes from, but yeah, what do you think?
I think it's everything you said. I think it can be, in terms of marketing, it could be strictly marketing.
Yeah.
It can be who's wearing it, and it can just be the design.
Yeah.
The pieces. So like when I think of like Blue Boy and his brand, I think of like just the pieces. Like it's completely different. The color palette is different.
Yeah.
And just the pieces he makes are just so unique and like off the wall that it's like, I feel like the more he was, working, the more exposure he got just because his pieces are so different.
And I think that's the one, Blue Boy. I think I sent you his Instagram, right, where he has like the ghost and stuff like that.
Yeah, the ghost.
He's dope. Yeah. He's dope, and he's doing some stuff with Complex Con now. He just he just created like a sketchbook that's super cool, where you don't really even have to make like sketch out any of your pieces if you're not necessarily like can draw.
Yeah.
But super dope.
Yeah.
So Strategyland, shout out to Strategyland, presented by Hypebeast. They did a survey with a bunch of folks to kind of get their insights on just like streetwear, and consumers consider musicians the most credible figures in streetwear. And speaking of kind of about like denim tears, that's really where the wave is, where it's like you have Offset, you have every celebrity.
Offset just did like a collab.
Yeah. But all the musicians wearing your stuff to really push it. And it kind of goes back to even like the FUBU days, where
Jay-Z and
wearing everything. And I feel like does that have longevity, where you look at musicians or just certain people pushing your brand, and once they stop wearing it, like maybe like a V-Lone, where that was pushed by like Uzi, Playboy Cardi, Rocky. And once that wave kind of stops, is it like still a brand, or is it more like just a moment in time?
It depends on the brand. So like when you look at OffWhite, for example, you have rappers, influencers wearing it, but at the same time, it's a quality brand. It makes quality garments. And the founder, Virgil, worked with Louis Vuitton. He's worked with other established brands. So I think even now it's still continuing, even though influencers still wear it, but it's not the hot brand necessarily.
Yeah.
But when you look at V-Lone, The pieces are it's more of like a time. It's like a period piece. Like you're hot right now, and next year you won't be, right? And that happens. Like every brand can't stay relevant forever. Like
Yeah.
even Supreme now, it's like every brand can't just be at the top forever.
Yeah.
Every brand has its time, and you know a brand like V-Lone isn't popping anymore, but OffWhite I think will continue.
I was going to ask you about that too, like brands that kind of have fallen off, but I, you know, and I don't think OffWhite has fallen off because they make a lot of great pieces. I do think that the people fell in love with the brand based off of Virgil,
right?
Which you know is understandable because a lot of brands now, especially like luxury brands, Louis Vuitton and Gucci or whoever, they really look at their creative director as like the focal point to really help drive sales. And I don't know if it's just based off of like their actual craftsmanship and design, but it's like the influence that they have.
Yeah. I mean, everything is influenced these days. Yeah. Everything. Craftsmanship is important, but it's not as important as, 60 years ago. I mean, you can go on Instagram and you can promote anything. Like we said before with Offset and Denim Tears. Offset went on Kai Sinet's live stream.
Yeah.
And he promoted it, his collab to like 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like everything is influenced.
And he said he wore that shit every fucking day.
Right.
So he went on a press run just wearing the same shit all the time, which
it's all just
super
marketing.
Smart.
It's just It's just like any other business.
Yeah.
You go to McDonald's, it's marketing, the large arches and, the commercials or the people. Even McDonald's is doing deals with rappers and musicians to gain more influence with younger people and more demographics so you can sell to more people. I mean, everything is just marketing. Everything is business, even in the business of fashion.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be strictly artistic. It's become, everything is a business now.
Yeah, big business and a lot, and there is a lack of, I think, of people just like somewhat jumping on waves.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like as a prior brand owner, I don't even want to say designer, but I would say brand owner.
Designer, man.
Nah, I was just fucking copying designs. I didn't fucking know how to design shit. And nor did I know how to sew or anything. But I think that's a good, thing to talk about. It's just like, do you want that like microwave fast, like it won't last long as a brand? Because like you have certain people that might have those connections, right? Like say if I know a bunch of rappers, I could just put out like a t-shirt and a hoodie or sweatsuit. Is that like a brand now? Or you kind of get it in through the mud and have to go through the trenches of just like really building your brand organically. And then you get the big musician or artist to wear your stuff, but it's not really kind of like the foundation isn't based off of the hype.
Right.
And I think that's what I would probably want as a brand owner, right? Because like you said, like Supreme isn't as hot as it used to, but Supreme isn't really based off of too much of the influence because it's really like the skaters. Of course, like the most iconic change and shift for Supreme was like when Jewels and Jim Jones wore it. Once, and they were kind of talking about that, like, yo, Supreme really wasn't all that like before us, and I don't know how true that is, but there was a big shift when you seen the Diplomats kind of like that their t-shirt. Yeah. But you can even look at like Ben Trill or Hood by Ear. Yeah. When Rocky kind of went and said like, fuck Ben Trill, fuck Hood by Ear, and all the kids started like burning their shirts. It's like that brand was really like the focal point was like ASAP Rocky, it felt like. And especially since ASAP at that given time was like behind Kanye, or you can even argue has more of a influence than Kanye West, man, on the fashion.
Well, back then,
I
don't know if you could say that.
Back then, for a period in time, ASAP was him.
Kanye had the #1 shoe in the world.
No, but
on multiple
I don't
occasions.
know if Yeezys came out before Ben Trill and Hood by Hair. I'm talking about like
Yeezy 1. Oh, Yeezy 2s came out at the same time, I think, right?
I don't think so, man.
Gotta.
Yeah, I gotta. But yeah, we'll go back and look at that. But the point being, he said fuck them, and the brand pretty much was gone.
I feel like a brand like Supreme, right? They started out as a skatewear brand and they continued to progress, and eventually rappers, Jim Jones, and not just them, right? When Tyler the Creator first came out, he rocked them and rapped them
wanted
hard.
to fucking dress like Tyler when he first came out.
But when he was you remember,
Tyler now is dope. Golf Wang is dope.
but remember when he came out with the camper
Tyler.
hats? The camper hats. Come
Get
on,
the fuck out of here.
All
Motherfuckers in the hood wasn't wearing that shit.
Yes, they was. When he came out with the camper hats, everybody had the camper hats. That's when it
all right,
first
the
started.
camper hats. All right, I can
And
see
then
the
it
camper hats and the box logo, like for the hoodies and the tees.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted to fucking dress like Tyler. Now is fucking fly.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he's fly now. Yeah, he's matured. But then they started doing collabs with North Face, and so the hype. I feel like some brands, the hype comes like it. Some brands they get hype immediately because of who the owner is and the connections they have, but like there's a lot of brands that just work.
That's the
like
point that I'm making.
Even Telfort, like that guy was working for like 20 years before he started gaining some like serious recognition.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of brands. I feel like most brands just they get it through the mud and then they get the recognition.
They get the recognition. Yeah. What's some brands you liking now?
Brands I'm like, my favorite brand right now is Seventh. So Seventh is a brand from the UK. They have like essentials.
Yeah.
Everything is regular
I follow
shit.
their page. They're dope. They're dope.
Super
basic
dope.
essentials.
It's like basic essentials, but the quality is like off the wall. Like it's incredible.
They have good photo shoots as far as lookbooks and then good content that they're putting out.
Yeah. That's important too. The way your website looks, the way your Instagram looks.
Yeah.
The way you promote it. Again, marketing.
That's a lost art, man. People taking the time and focus on like their website.
Yeah, that's like seriously important.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, that was like a big thing when I was like starting my brand. I was like, the website has to like, because now you see like certain like just, one page websites. And my favorite website when I was like just trying to draw inspiration to like create my website, I love OffWhite website.
OffWhite's website is fire.
Fear of God's website. I felt like his website was super dope. But now I look at certain brands' websites and they're like, you have a few brands like Seventh, their website's clean.
Yeah.
But then you have some brands that are just like one page.
Shit is trash.
The shit is just trash. But they got the hype, they got the customers, but the shit is trash. And I wish they put a little bit more quality like in the websites and the experience of just purchasing shit on your website.
Yeah.
So you said 7. I like I think Palace is still like my
Palace
number one.
is still nice. But that's like I feel like Palace, they had the hype before, they kind of crossed that, and now it's just like quality.
And they do really good collabs. I've been liking a lot of the collabs that Palace has done. Denim Tears, know what? I'm still gonna give them a shout out as far as just brands that are hot right now, because even though there's a lot of fake Denim Tears and shit going out there now, I seen that Asian site
we
Temu.
fuck with the fakes over here. We fuck.
Nah, don't say that shit. I fuck with Temu. Well, not fuck with Temu, but there was a fucking a meme about it. Temu Tears, like it's like some fake shit. And I think overall, Denim Tears, they have a lot of good stuff that they drop consistently, but people just only know about like the pants,
and
the
staple.
sweatsuits, but like. He has a lot of really good shit, especially with the collabs that he's done with like Levi's.
Yeah.
I've said this brand before, and I don't think I've ever heard him say it, but Cortez. I love what they're doing. I just bought some jeans from them.
Yeah, their stuff is nice.
Their stuff is really nice, and I like his passion. I said the guy name was Kurt. His name's Clint. But I love what he's doing with the brand. I think those are some brands that right now are just like super consistent, and you see a lot of like dedication with a lot of the pieces that they're making. When you see brand owners, and that's where people really fall in love with brands, sometimes with the brand owner, like Virgil, right? Like Jerry Lorenzo, like you fall in love with like their passion. Yeah. And from there you kind of get like consumed and drawn in for the brand.
Yeah, it's almost like they become the celebrity, like, and their brand is a representation of them.
Yeah.
So when you see them talk or when you see them promote their the brand or do interviews, you sort of like become one with the owner. Like, you want to support him.
Yeah.
You care about his opinion. Or her.
Well, speaking about brands that are doing well, and I spoke about Fear of God and Jerry Lorenzo. I feel like that's one brand that I have on my list that's like gone missing. They had a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And I know he's transitioned from Nike now to Adidas. And he's shown a few sneak peeks of like the sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't fucking hitting. I just haven't seen like I felt like Rude kind of took the spot of Fear of God at one, like kind of having like that high end but still streetwear like feel to it.
Yeah.
But like what the fuck is happening with Fear of God?
I mean, Fear of God is they still got nice garments. I was never a huge fan of Fear of God. But like I said before, the hype kind of passed. Yeah. You can't stay at the top forever. The hype kind of passed.
The top forever.
And he moved on to something else. He started doing essentials too.
The essentials is probably where he's making a lot of fucking money. Because every motherfucker in the hood want an essential sweatsuit.
Yeah.
That was motherfucker. Huge. Moms want it. Daughters want it.
Yeah.
It's a fucking madhouse. So I mean, you're making the money there. But I do miss Fear of God and the garments, and Jerry, come back. You know, I don't know if the Adidas is it, but the shit that he was doing with Nike was fire. I definitely got like 2 of those Nike collabs that he's done. Another brand, Mary. Like I felt like that was like for the scammers and the hood niggas that wanted to wear Marys. Every rapper was rapping that like, I got the Marys, I got the Marys, and now everybody's like, nah, we don't fuck with the Marys. And I never bought a pair, but like. Because the hype just, especially when you promote it so like hard, like the hype eventually just gonna die. It's gonna die out.
These niggas still talking about it. Like it's annoying. Like after a while, it's like, I don't want to hear about that shit. Like let's get to something. It's like sexy red is popping today. It's like, what are we gonna have next year? You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Oh yeah, they're gonna come and go.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's like a lot of brands come and go. Like. Yeah, I'm tired of your shit now. Like, let's move on. You know what I'm saying?
That's scary as a brand owner. Like, you get to the top too quick, and then it's just like the fall. Well, I mean, for Mary's, I'm sure there's no fall off with the bank account and the consistent amount of people buying your stuff, but like the hype has just fallen off a little bit. And that's what I'm saying. I like to find brands that there's no hype behind it, you know? Because I look at fashion now like the music industry, where you had like those big brands, the gatekeepers, like you had to like wear the things that everybody else was wearing.
Yeah.
But now people are starting like so many brands through social media. That you can actually find really quality garments. Like they may not have a full collection of just like 15 to 20 pieces, but they might create like 5 good pieces, and they're not like screen printed like t-shirts, which is dope. And I think those are like the brands that you want, like you find like your SoundCloud rapper or musician that you see that they're putting out like small segments. And then from there, like you see their brand starting to grow. You see the website starting to grow. You see the content on social media starting to grow. So I like to look for motherfuckers like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many brands promoted through Instagram now. It's like anything you are looking for, anything you want, you can pretty much find. Yeah. And everybody can create a brand. So it's a ton of now. So you can anything you can imagine, basic wear. If you want something with rhinestones, or if you want something colorful, if you want something like Rick Owens, you can pretty much find it.
Do you feel like streetwear gets like a bad rap, like as a brand owner? Like you don't want to say like, oh, I have a fashion brand, but no one wants to ever really say like I have a streetwear brand.
I mean, like even when people say they have a fashion brand, it gets a little diluted.
Because they just got fucking 2 t-shirts and shit, and it's like, I got a fashion brand.
Yeah, I got a brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what you got? What you doing?
Why would shit on them motherfuckers though? I try not to shit on people that say like I got a brand, because I was that guy. I had like t-shirts, I had hoodies, and I'm like, oh, I got a fashion brand.
Yeah, but then you went away from that shit in like a year, so it's like,
yeah.
It's like when girls say like, yo, I'm a content creator. It's like, well, what type of content do you do?
OnlyFans. Yeah.
It's like it kind of goes into that realm. Especially, I think it's like with social media these days, everybody being on it. And like I said, everybody can make a brand. Everybody can be a content creator. Everybody can do anything.
It's diluted, but and it's diluted, but it's good that it's diluted because it's easier to build a community when you're good at it.
Yeah.
When you're like, you could have 100 motherfuckers doing the same thing, but if you're good at it, you're gonna build a community because just like what building content, people are looking for it. Like YouTube now, they kind of put out some of the metrics and numbers. Like they're only growing like 15% year over year. Like they're growing. They need more people creating content because now YouTube is somewhat essentially the new Google or the second Google. Like when you want to like search something, shit, like you going on Google to search how to make that fucking rigatoni or fucking, you know, chicken parm. I'm not, you know, so
you could just get it right on YouTube and watch the video.
On YouTube. So content is there and people searching for stuff. So hopefully you guys search for more than design podcasts or fashion topics. We're here. Yeah, bro. So what are you going to be doing with your brand with your boy? Like, we're
still brainstorming. We're still looking at manufacturers and we're still trying to figure out the first collection we want to make. Yeah. So we already got, you know, pretty solid ideas with, you know, the shirts and the hoodies and the jackets, but we do want to get into accessories. Yeah. So we're trying to figure that out now. So.
And cost is going to be it because what we talked about in the beginning is like, I did a lot of manufacturing here. Yeah. So you're about to go on that Alibaba, India, China route, or what do you think?
Well, we're still looking at manufacturers in LA. Yeah. But that's probably going to be the route. Probably, I would think. Yeah. Just because the cost it's insane. Yeah. It's insane to make it here, which is kind of sad, and it speaks to the issues with manufacturing in America in general. But yeah, going overseas is just it's so much more cost efficient. Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
You just got to be very detailed, I think, when you're doing manufacturing overseas. And you know, I talked to Toronto from Public Housing Skate Team about that. Even with me, like when I made tracksuits, it's a lot of back and forth because there's such a language barrier. Yeah. There's a time zone difference as well. And there's a sizing difference as well. Like, right? Like,
yeah, that's a problem too.
Yeah. When they're making shit, it's going to be a little bit smaller, or even if they're trying it on like maybe someone in the warehouse or the factory, motherfuckers is like, you know, 5'8", 130 pounds. And it's like, oh, that's a large. And it's like, nah, bro, like we need to send you the sizing chart and kind of get this right. Yeah. So those are some of the challenges I think as a brand owner and you like you're gonna face. And
it's all about finding the right manufacturer too. Yeah. You know, you can find people that, you know, speak good English. You can find people. It's just all about taking the time to, you know, look that up and just going. Sometimes you really got to go through manufacturers, and you probably might get some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some bad samples, and I had a really good manufacturer. I had a guy that you know, I won't say his name. He wanted my manufacturer, me and Ronald from Public Housing, and he was really salty about it. I didn't want to give him the fucking one. I didn't really like him like that, but two, I wasn't trying to give him like, you know, something that we worked hard to build a rapport with this manufacturer. So protect your manufacturers. Don't be stingy with it, but. Yeah, you got to protect your manufacturer, because when you find a fucking good one,
you got to protect the plug.
Yeah, because you know, one, they say, oh, it take 1 week, take 2 weeks, and that should take a month to fucking make. And you just kind of waiting in the wind, you know, especially if you are committing to like orders and stuff like that. So that's why I think you see a lot of brands, they'll be like, oh, 4 to 6 weeks to ship. Yeah, because they have to kind of go through all of the shit just to.
Some of that stuff is made to order too.
Yeah, made to order too. Yeah. Cool, man. Yo, where can people find the brand and stuff like that?
Oh, the brand Descended NYC. We're on Instagram. Yeah, I don't know any other platform yet. TikTok. Just because we haven't started really making content yet. Yeah. So we're on Instagram though.
Yeah, go follow that. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully this was some good insight for you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you for the next episode, man. Later.